All right. I think for time's sake, it's 9:15. I think we should get started. Mr. Miles, take it away, and I will manage the participants as they come in. But a lot of them are here already, so we might as well get started.
Okay, yeah. So I'm Lorenzo Miles. I'm the training director for the San Diego Sheet Mill Apprenticeship Program here in San Diego. You know, let's see. So a sheet mill journeyman is a well-trained and educated individual who uses specialized tools, equipment to cut, roll, bend, and shape various metals containing different thicknesses. They can fabricate, install many custom objects of metal. So also, so that's a lot of shop work, doing install or fabricating and stuff. And we also have the field work where you get to install everything that we make, you know, in the shops. So we use different types of metals. We use aluminum, brass, copper, galvanized, iron, painted metal, painted steel, painted aluminum, zinc, perforated metal. So we use a very well-arranged type of metal. So, all right. So the sheet metal industry is 7 different fields. So there's heating, venting, and air conditioning. That's AVAC. So that's like all your air conditioning stuff. You running air conditioning duct in the ceilings, heating duct. We have testing, adjusting, and balancing. We call it tab. So you test all the air that's coming out of the duct. It's a very technical part of the trade. You have to be pretty good with math formulas and math period. And we have architectural, ornamental, and general sheet metal, which is more of like a craftsman too. That's where I came from. I was an architectural sheet metal for 20 years, sheet metal worker. So it's like more craft, more work, and all facets of it, like a lot of welding. We do signage, sheet metal workers make signs out of sheet metal. Service and startup, that's literally starting up the AC units, the air conditioning units, and servicing them. If something's wrong, they'll call you out. That's part of my trade too. And detailing and drafting. So there's a lot of different detail and drafting things that we do, like computer. We use AutoCAD a lot. We use some shops use SolidWorks to make parts. So there's a whole bunch, very, very diverse field when it comes to sheet metal. So this is showing some pictures of duct work. That's mostly in the ceiling. Most of the time you don't see it, but some of it is exposed. So that's carrying air through the vents from the air conditioners. More duct work, just different various custom fittings that we would make in the shop as a sheet metal worker. And this just shows the grand scale of big, large APs, big, large production projects that we have, where you have to, if you're kind of scared of heights, yeah, that might be a little problem for you, but you usually get over it. Because I was scared of heights, but working, I got over it. So it just shows a different kind of equipment that you have to use to lift up these big air ducts. Just showing you. So the AC units right here, that's an AC unit. The air conditioning unit is big for a big building. So those usually go on the roofs. So I just show you, how big these air conditioning units are. You probably used to like the small ones in the house, but they get big for these big commercial buildings. Tab, so this is testing the air balancing, testing the air that's coming out of the vents, because we don't want too much pressure coming into a room, because you won't be able to open the door or close the door. So we have this whole where we test the air, make sure it's right pressure. Here's just some architectural roof panels. This is part of architectural ornamental sheet metal. So all this green, that's all sheet metal on the roof. External panels. So a lot of these buildings, you'll see panels outside the building, and mostly those are sheet metal. So that's whole part of the architectural trade right there. Some more exterior panels. This job is actually at UTC, the UTC tower. Just shows you we don't only do square panels, we do radius panels, And just knowing that kind of stuff, how to lay that stuff out, you have to use math quite a bit. Some custom handrails. A lot of contractors do handrail work. It's all made out of metal. This looks like just regular steel metal, but we do stainless steel handrails, welding, grinding, making them look nice. Rain gutter. We do gutter. This is pretty fancy gutter right here. This is copper. So it's pretty pricey right there. So that's part of our architectural sheet metal part. Welding. We do a lot of welding. You're either welding architectural panels, you're welding duct, welding pipe. There's quite a bit of welding in the sheet metal industry. So if you learn how to weld, like a lot of guys learn how to weld through different programs, and they usually go to shipyard. But you have the option to come in to be a sheet metal worker because we do welding there too. So some more welding. Here's just a sign made out of metal going this. So yeah, we get pretty artsy in the sheet metal trade. It's just really nice to build something with your hands and able to see it, when you're done. You're able to build stuff on a building. You go by there and say, hey, I did that on that building. That's one real nice thing about the sheet metal trade. You get to take a flat piece of metal and bend it and make it into something, artistic. Or so this HVAC, so servicing air conditioning units. And here's this a detailer, just the plans of how the ductwork goes in, so you do it on computer, through CAD drawings, through Rivet. There's different programs that we use, that sheet metal workers use to do their detailing. So like I said, it's vast. There's a lot to sheet metal, not just, only working in the field or working in the shop. So here's our wage scale right here. This is a little bit outdated, but when you come into the sheet metal apprenticeship, you become like a first period apprentice. It says $18, but right now I think it's $20.31 right now. So first bat off, that's how much you're making. $20.31. Every 6 months you get bumped up. So your first period, next year or next 6 months, you're in the second period. So you get bumped up another percentage. And it's 50, and it's percentage of a journeyman rate. So right now the journeyman rate is close to $40. So about time someone would get into apprenticeship right now, it's a 5-year program, and they get out. We have collective bargaining agreements with our contractors, and every year the journeyman rate goes up. So that means the apprenticeship rate pay goes up too. So about time somebody get in a program right now, do their 5 years, you'll probably be close to making like $48 an hour. So facts about apprenticeships, it provides a salary that will increase. Like I said, you increase every six months. It gives you many opportunities to grow. Like I said, there's so many different, things with the sheet metal apprenticeship, the sheet metal period that you can do. You can become a supervisor, even get more money, even own a lot of people, like quite a bit of people recently have started their own businesses, so you can always do that too. So you test your ability to think and learn, challenge your skills, opens up just more doors of opportunities. And it's also a great wage. You get insurance and a retirement plan. So I know young people not think about retirement right now, but when you get like close to my age, you're like, wow, like I'm glad I did this. I mean, because it's all taken care of for you. So you don't even have to think about that stuff. So it's a 5-year program. So it lasts for 5 years. Your apprenticeship for 5 years. You work full time, you go to school part time. So you go to school twice a month. So you go to school for 8 hours 1 week, and then in 2 weeks later, you go for another 8 hours a day that week. So it's 2 days a month. You attend school 16, 24 hours per month. You earn as you learn, like I said. So you're working on a job, and you're learning, and you're getting money while you're going to school. So You earn 55 units of credit. So we're accredited through Palomar College. So you get those college credits when you finish. You know, you graduate no debt. It costs nothing to you. You know, it's free. No books cost or anything. Extra material. Actually, we give you an iPad in the beginning, and all your books are loaded on there. And you get to keep your iPad when you get out. Yeah. So just a couple of things. Like I said, we're accredited through Palomar College. So you do get units college credit when you get out. So you must be 18 years of age to apply. You must pass an entrance exam, which is like a math test. You must pass an oral interview, pass a drug test, pass a physical abilities test, and have a California driver's license. You have to have a California driver's license in order to become an apprentice and get indentured as an apprentice. So we have a website you can apply. Here I have more information at the end. So you can submit the 3 documents to the website. So you got to submit a diploma, or GED, a photo ID, and a proof of age like a birth certificate, marriage license, or a passport. So what you do is you sign up online, you submit all 3 of those documents. So we have our next test in April. I think it's April 7th, I believe. So yeah, if you want to get in now, you can sign up on that website and put in all the documents right now. So, any questions?
I just wanted to make a quick comment for the students who are on here. Part of the reason we're having this today is to expose you to a different type of education. A lot of times we say, go to college, go to college, go to college. That doesn't necessarily apply to every single occupation that's out there. And there's a lot of great occupations that are in this apprenticeship model where you're earning while you learn and you come out debt free and you make a good living at it. And any of the ones today we're going to see here in the sheet metal one, I mean, that's a terrific wage when you come out after 5 years. Right. And so you may think about going to college and going, oh, I can go major in. And then you find out that that's not actually offered there. It's actually offered through an apprenticeship program. And I don't think we talk about this enough in high school so that students know that this is a huge option that they have available to them. And I think probably between 5 to 15% of high school students should be going into some type of apprenticeship program, according to my estimations. Now, if you want to ask some questions, just throw it in the chat there or unmute yourself. I've already got one question that was lined up, which is Andrew asked, which is the hardest to do in terms of, in terms of
like out of all of the jobs in the sheet metal, which one's the hardest and like which one's like the easiest to do?
Yeah, that's kind of a hard question. I would say it like depends on you. I mean, if you're good at math, then I really think nothing will be hard for you. If you're not so strong at math, then probably testing and air balancing probably wouldn't be a good thing for you. But the thing is, it's on the job training. So whatever you don't know, you usually learn in a job. And also like physically, I would say like hard, I would no matter what, you have to work in the field. But HVAC can be some hard, physical work, So, you're going to get dirty, so if you don't mind getting dirty, then you'll be all right.
Okay.
Jose asks, which of these jobs have you personally done?
So I have been an architectural guy, like for my 22 years of doing this. So I worked out in the field and I worked in the shop. I mostly worked in the shop towards the end, and it was really rewarding for me to be able to build stuff, and show my creative side, and I had done a little bit HVAC, the duct work stuff, usually out in the field. So usually just hanging duct work and stuff like that. Yeah, so those are a couple of things I've done.
Okay, next question is from Hirely, which is, which one do most people go for, or does it depend on what they know?
It depends on what you know, but let me tell you, the contractors in our union, most of them do HVAC. So most of them are HVAC contractors. So that's probably a big part of our union. So you'll be either working in a shop or working in the field, you know, or be doing tab work where you're testing the air balancing. So.
Okay, next question comes from Logan. The air that comes out of the vents, can it come out as unhealthy air quality? Question mark there.
Can it? Yeah, it can. So that's, you know, our whole testing air balances, we test all that stuff. So especially with this COVID-19 stuff, we're starting to get more regulations with that. So yeah, so it can be like that. So that's our whole job, is to, you know, make sure that it's healthy.
Sarah asked, what is the biggest challenge with being a welder?
I would say just tight spaces. You know, that's the only thing. I mean, tight spaces, you know, hard to get comfortable. It's kind of, you know, you gotta, so in order to be a good welder, be able to go weld, you have to get comfortable in some tight spaces, you know, and, you know, sometimes that happens, you know, but that's probably the hardest thing about it. You know, it's pretty easy once you learn, and really rewarding too.
Jeremy asks, how long are the hours?
So you're gonna work 8 hours a day, right? Normally, you know, so you're working 8 hours a day. School is 8 hours a day. So you go in school twice a month. It's 8 hours a day of schooling, and you're working usually 40 hours a week, just like normal.
Anthony, maybe you can come online and ask us about this one. Which is better in the long run? What do you mean by that, Anthony? If you want to unmute.
I mean, like financial wise, you know?
Okay.
Financially, yeah, I mean, yeah, the apprenticeship is, you know, financially, you be able to work, you know, most of your life if you want to, you know, in any apprentice, actually any trade school, you know, sheet metal or plumbers, electricians, you know, so yeah, in the long run, it, you know, you get there, it's a career, it's not just a job, you know, you'll be there for, you know, hopefully till you retire.
Yeah, the thing I'd add to that is a lot of people, another option is once you have mastered a trade like this, a lot of people will go off and start their own business too, which is
Yes.
a whole different level.
Yeah, and actually the sheet metal furniture, the union help you with that too. They give you a business plan and business development classes to take.
Ian asks, when did you start working?
What age?
I think so.
What age is that?
Yep, he
I
said,
think
when did you start working?
when did I start working?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was 22, I believe, when I started sheet metal trade.
Okay.
So that's when I got an apprenticeship. I started with a contractor for like 6 months, and I got an apprenticeship like the next 6 months. So I went to community college for 2 years, tried that, you know, was lost and happened to stumble upon this trade, you know, and tried it out and been here ever since.
Another question we have is, what other areas or subjects are strongly needed in the job besides math?
Besides math, I would say math is literally the strongest. I think it's more like a physical thing, maybe, you know, because sometimes, you know, it can be physically taxing to do this work, you know, so I would say more of a physical thing. Yeah, I mean, just basic life things like, you know, common sense and reasoning, you know, those help out, you know, with the math. So
Diego asks, what's the hardest metal / expensive metal to work with?
ooh, that's a good question. I would say copper. It's just the most expensive. You know, it's actually really pliable, but like if you get like your fingerprints on it, sometimes it'll just turn the metal. You know, so you gotta be really careful with copper.
And then Yvonne here wants to know, which is the best job in your opinion?
all the 7 sheet metal parts. I'm gonna be biased because I did architectural, so I'm gonna have to say architectural. You know, like I said, you get to drive by and see your work. You know, you get to drive by buildings and see your work outside of buildings, and you know, architectural, you make all kinds of different things. You make kitchen hoods, you make just kitchen equipment, countertops. I made some cabanas, like outside cabanas for a pool at an apartment leasing complex before. So it's just all kinds of really neat things to get to do doing architectural work, you know. But not everybody, I mean, a lot of people really not in, you know, don't really like that a lot. So it just depends on you.
Okay, do I have any other questions out here? Instructors, do you have any questions? From Mr. Quarrel while you're on here. So the minimum age you have to be is right after high school. You got to have a high school diploma. You got to be at least 18, right?
Yes.
And then here's the question I have, and this is maybe true of many of these type of programs. Is there some sort of test or interview process going in?
Yeah, so you have an entrance test, which is a math test. Going in, after you pass the math test, then you schedule for an interview, you know. So once you pass the interview, then you're in. You know, as long as you have a driver's license and you have to take a drug test then and there, or not then and there, but we schedule for a drug test and you do all that, then you're in.
Okay. Alexis must have missed this, but how much do you guys get paid?
So a journeyman rate right now is, I think it's $39. So
Okay.
apprentice make a percentage of that. So first year apprentice makes 50% of that. No. Or actually, I think it's a little bit under, but they're up to like $20 first year apprentice. So that's the going rate right now. Plus you get all your benefits. You get health care, you get retirement, you know, you get dental care. So you have all that. Plus we offer a 401A plan, you know, so we offer all that stuff, those benefits with the pay that you get hourly rate.
For one of our instructors, Chef Plunkett here, she asks, if math is difficult for a student, is there help available to improve your math skills?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. I should touch on that. So we do actually offer math classes where we offer like a couple of nights of math reinforcement of, you know, a refresher class for the prep test, for the test. So it's like a prep class. So yeah, we do offer that stuff.
Okay, guys, any other questions? My question is, what kind of math are you guys using every day?
Algebra, mostly some trig, you know, some Pythagorean theorem, you know, people like, we never use that, but yeah, we use that as sheet metal workers. A lot of geometry, actually. You know, I would say mostly geometry, actually, like the big thing that we use. So and it's like basic stuff. I mean, it's like basic use geometry. It's not super, you know, detailed stuff. It's not like trig or something. So
They're not going to ask you to be doing proofs or anything like that. So this is just utilize it, and then don't let trig scare you as much. Once you know the functions and stuff like that, it's a matter of plugging in the numbers. So all right. Any other questions we've got going on here? Well, I have Mr. Miles. Okay, I think we've cleaned out our questions. All right, a couple of closing remarks. Again, guys, this is all about trades and different occupations today. We had one 2 weeks ago. This is the part 2 of that today because there's so many apprenticeship programs here in the San Diego area. It's hard to cover them all. But we wanted you to know that there are some great jobs out there that require a different type of education. I guess apprenticeship could be called the oldest type of education around. And so we want to make sure that you get some exposure today. Some of the students in here will actually be jumping on some of our other calls today, but if you don't have a chance to, I'm going to be putting this on my Canvas page under the apprenticeship section. And you can also watch this video and the others in this series as well. All right, if anybody, does anybody have any final questions or comments to make? Please jump in right now. Tim, if you're on here, did you have anything you wanted to ask?
No, I think it was fantastic. There's great opportunities. There's a lot more to sheet metal than I knew of. That's great. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure.
Okay.
I wanted to add again for the students, sometimes you have no idea what you want to do at where you are right now today, but you need to be exposed to all these different apprenticeships and career options out there because not all of you want to go to college, but if you like working with your hands, these are great opportunities that will give you a good paying job, a career that you can support a family, you can support yourself. So I just really wanted my students to see that this is an opportunity. And if math is difficult for you, this is a reason why you need to work on your math skills and get them up because you could have an awesome career in your life if you apply yourself.
Yep, we use math every day. Many occupations do. That algebra requirement when you're in high school, it's there for a darn good reason because a lot of times you're going to be using that in your work that you do. Again, you won't have to prove anything and you're not going to do anything like that, but you need to operationally know how to use it, right? And use math to your advantage. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Mr. Miles, thank you so much for your time. And for our instructors, thank you for bringing your students over.
Thank you.
All right, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
we'll see everybody here next year live.
Yeah.
That will be even more fun.
All right, see you.
All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.